Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. I wanted to go through and give you guys some new XRP analysis. I wanted to go and make sure that we're all on the same page together because I see that this thing has really been dropping. Obviously speaking, this has been one of the laggards in the cycle, and I wanted to make sure that we're all aware on what's to be expected on the dollar pairs, the Bitcoin pairs, as well as the Ethereum pairs moving forward. XRP has been one of my favorite cryptocurrencies, and I strongly believe in the longevity of this project moving forward because there has never been a top gainer with as much consistency as there has been with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, which I expect this to continue to play out. A lot of people are underestimating XRP, and a lot of people are going to miss out on some serious gains when this beast really does erupt. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Make sure that you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. And always remember, guys, I have my amazing Discord community with over 17,000 members, and it's free for anybody that wants to join. All you guys got to do to join is to click inside of the description of this video, and there you're going to find the invitation link to my Discord server. Now, what I also wanted to mention is I do have a free ebook, and so if you guys are ever looking to learn how to invest, how to trade inside of these markets, and you guys want a little bit of a refreshment on some of the knowledge and practical know-how it takes to be investors inside of this market, make sure you guys check out my free ebook by clicking inside of the description of this video, and there you're going to find the link to go download that. It's free. It's over 38 pages. It's got a little quiz in there. You're going to go over some basic trading and investing terminology, and it's just full of a lot of good information to help you guys understand trading on a little bit of a deeper level. Now, with that being said, if you guys ever want to get access to any of my private groups, once again, there's links in the description, or you could wait to the end of this video, and I'm going to take a couple minutes to explain how you guys can get signed up, the pros of doing so, and what it's going to take to get you guys going today. Alrighty, guys, we got a lot of really exciting stuff to talk about today. I know that you XRP community are going to find a ton of value out of this, so without further ado, let's jump right into it today. Alrighty, guys, so first things first, we're going to jump into XRP on the dollar. I just wanted to go over a few different basics and understandings that I see here because more or less I still believe that this correction is over, but there is something that has changed just a slight bit. Now, in the last update, you guys already know that I was labeling this as a 1, a 3, and I said that this was going to be the bottom before we get one more impulse. Well, that has recently changed with the sell-off inside of the market. Technically speaking, we are still above candle bodies here. And so until we close back below about, just under 23 cents, then we're still technically okay. But the way that this is looking, I expect that this is going to sell through, and we're actually going to fall closer to about 20 cents. That's personally my belief, and I'm going to go through and explain to you guys why. I'm going to also explain to you guys why that this does not mean that it's bearish. In fact, this is just an ABC correction back up to retest some of the previous resistance levels after a 135 Elliott wave expansion on the downside, which obviously makes no sense to the majority of you, so that's why we're going to get into this, and I'm going to explain it in a really easy to understand way. Now, first things first, this is kind of the way that I've been updating you guys for a while. I've been labeling this as more or less just a break from a downtrending resistance, and now this is going to be us retesting it as support. And so even if we get one more low, which I am expecting here to take us back down to about 20 cents, I expect that this low is going to hold, and then this is going to be the ultimate retest of this descending resistance before we get further expansion on the upside. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about first and foremost is how this is the way Elliott wave theory works. Now, this works on the downside or the upside. Basically, you have three impulse waves: wave 1, wave 3, and then wave 5, right? Now, the way this works is 1 and 5 are generally about the same size, with 3 being the biggest. Wave 1 starts the hype, wave 2 is the correction, so the even numbers are the corrective moves, the odd numbers are the impulses. So impulse 1, short-term correction, and then wave 3 is usually the biggest, the most volume. And the reason for this is because wave 1 starts the hype, wave 3 is where all of the hype it gets produced. That's where retail money comes in. That's where you have all of the big expansion. Then you have another short-term correction, and then you get a final wave 5. And wave 5 is generally the same size as wave 1. Not always. With crypto, sometimes the 5 wave can get overextended. It can be bigger, or it can be the same size as the 3. But either way, conventional Elliott wave theory shows that wave 5 is about the same size as wave 1, and this is where smart money takes profit. So smart money buys and starts wave 1. You have the short-term correction right here. Wave 3 is the big expansion where retail money FOMOs in after smart money already accumulated. So then you get the big expansion, and then we get the short-term correction down here, ABC back down, and then wave 5 is where smart money that bought all the way down here, that's when smart money starts to take profits, and so that's why it's not quite the same size. But with crypto, sometimes they can be really hyped, and that 5 wave can still be very big. And so this is the same way, whether you're looking at Elliott waves on the upside, or whether you're looking at them on the downside, it's the same way. 1, 3, 5, right? It's the exact same way. And then what follows after a 1, 3, and 5 Elliott wave impulse is an A, B, C correction back down, right? And this is the way that these market cycles actually work. And generally, they fall back in between the 4 waves. So generally, they fall back to about right here, the 4, between the 3 and the 4, between the 3 and the 4. And this is the way Elliott wave theory works. And so you can trade these guys to make a little bit of profit. Super basic understanding of how to actually trade with them. But now I'm going to explain to you guys why that's important with XRP. Because in my opinion, what we really had since about, September of 2018, so just about 2 years ago exactly, we actually started this Elliott wave cycle back down. This was wave 1. This was wave 3. And then this was wave 5. And this is kind of the way that I've been looking at this Elliott wave impulse. And so this was 5 waves down, and then COVID was really the finishing touch of that 5 wave. The reason why I believe that is because wave 5 also came down perfectly onto support of wave 3 and a 4, like I was talking to you guys about. So in this case, this is bearish. So we had wave 1, we had wave 3, we had wave 5, right? Now, whenever you have an ABC correction, it generally comes back in between support of the 3 and the 4, somewhere in between this range right here, which would be something like A, B, C, right? Something like that, in between the wave 3 and the 4. And this is actually exactly the same thing that we're seeing right now today. This move from COVID was just our first A, B, C corrective move back up, and we went perfectly to retest that 4 wave support. Now, the reason I think this is because the fact that we're selling back in with support of this previous wave, which just is not conventional of Elliott wave theory and actually invalidates the wave count. For this to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we would have needed to hold support here and we would have started to bounce. The fact that we're showing weakness right now makes me feel like this is just a corrective move back up. And generally speaking, with corrective moves, the C leg is very impulsive and it happens very quickly, which is exactly what we saw right here. This is just a conventional ABC corrective move back up. It corrected right back into resistance, and now we're kind of selling off from there. Now, with that being said, it does not mean that we're bearish in the slightest. In fact, we had 5 impulse waves down followed by a corrective move back up. In my opinion, what we're going to see here, and I can explain to you, is the fact that this is a corrective move, and this is also an entire sell-off that came right in between support of that 3 wave. So we can see this right here. 1, 3, and 5, right? And so look how we corrected. In COVID, the ending of this 5 wave came perfectly in support of the 3 and the 4, just like conventional Elliott waves. And I'm going to go and explain them to you guys a little bit further. So this is kind of what I mean. This is a bearish trend. We have 1, 3, 5 Elliott wave impulse down, and then we have the A, B, C back up. The C leg generally comes in between the 3 and the 4, most likely to that 4 wave. Sometimes it can go even deeper than that, but generally speaking, that's what you look for. And this is the same way. 1, 3, 5, A, B, C. And it always comes back into support of that 3 and a 4 if it's a more textbook example of Elliott waves. Now, the thing about this, guys, is back down in here in 2017, we got our impulse, 1, 3, 5, right? And then we corrected all the way back down. And this is really an example of a bigger scale A, B, C correction right here, right? Now, in every C leg, you have to have 5 impulse waves, which is what we got, 1, 3, and 5. And now from here, we're just getting our corrective move back up. And this is just the finishing touches of this trend. Now, even though we're kind of consolidating here and we're kind of selling off a little further, I think that we're going to fall back to about 20 cents. And then that's when we're going to end this correction, and that's going to be the end touches of this move. Now I know I'm getting to a lot of detailed stuff as far as technical analysis goes that you guys probably don't understand, but all that you really need to understand is just the way that these cycles are working out and the way that this maps out as far as Elliott wave theory goes. The fact that this is just an ABC corrective move back up means that I believe that we're just going to be selling off to fall back onto support of about 20 cents. And then from here is going to be the final touches before we do finish out this move. And this could even look something like this. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and this could be an inverse head and shoulder before we finally break that pesky neckline at about 30 cents, approximately right around there, before we get that flip, and then that's what's going to take us ultimately into price discovery. It's very apparent that we have to get above this 33-cent mark, and you could label it a couple different ways. Really, it's just a majority zone of about 30 cents. So in my opinion, you have about 30 cents to 33 cents, somewhere in between this little zone right here. And it's really important that we get above this, because if we don't get above this level, obviously we're going to be bearish. Now, the way I look at this, guys, is I believe that we finished all of our impulse waves back down. COVID was the completion of that. COVID completed the corrective move of us after the blow off top. We had to fall back down and retest support of the 3 and the 4, which this was wave 3 and 4 right here. And so COVID was us retesting all of that. We came down perfectly on support of that 4 wave. And now this was us correcting back up. Now we're going to fall back down. We're going to finally find support of about 20 cents. And then that's where I do believe that support is going to hold before we do finally break out of that 30 cent to 33 cent barrier. This is what I'm watching out for with XRP on the dollar. I strongly am still bullish on this long term. Nothing has changed. The only real difference is we're just coming down for an amazing buying opportunity. And that's the thing, guys. Technically speaking, my average entry price throughout all of this accumulation of my XRP buys puts me at about 23 cents. So I'm about break even right now. I am expecting that I'm going to be back underwater and I'm going to be holding on to some more losses, but I'm actually going to be looking to buy some more XRP when we do hit about 20 cents. I think that that's going to be the support floor before we do eventually break out of that 30-cent barrier. Obviously speaking, we've hit this barrier a number of different times. It's provided a ton of supply, not once, not twice, but 4 or 5 different times. And now I'm expecting that this is going to be the final move before we do break out of that cycle. Now, either way, guys, you know, I've been very adamant about speaking that this is the bottom ever since COVID. I actually managed to buy some XRP at 14 cents, so almost the exact bottom of this move. And I'm going to continue to average into my positions because I've never been more bullish on XRP in the long-term approach. When you break it down based off of Elliott wave theories, this is merely a 1, 3, 5 impulse, and then this was us correcting all the way back onto support of that 4 wave. This is textbook example. And on top of that, it's been one of the biggest leaders of the cryptocurrency market for so long that you really, in my opinion, can't doubt it. And you can't underestimate what's going to happen with XRP. It has more real partnerships. It has more real development. Has a bigger ecosystem, a bigger economy than 99% of these cryptos out there. And for that, you got to trust in the process of that. You know, we've had XRP maintaining that top 3 status in market cap forever, basically ever since it's been around. You know, anytime you have a controlling dominant share like this inside of a crypto, you got to just pay attention for it because it's very obvious that it's going to continue to be a leader. Now, if it hasn't sold off with how ugly this bear market cycle's been, if it still hasn't dropped out of that top 10, it's not going to. You know, this was a pretty brutal correction, about 97%, but you got to keep in mind, guys, that this is one of the best performing assets of that last cycle. The bigger they pump, the harder that they're going to fall. Generally speaking, not always, but that's what we saw with Ethereum. That's what we saw with XRP. And we're just basically building that base right here. I think that 20 cents is going to be the support floor before we break out and flip this major 33 to 30 cent barrier that we've been held under for resistance for so long. And then that's really where the fireworks are going to come into play. Just pay attention to this, guys. Don't get shaken out. It's nothing to be scared of. This is just a little bit of a difference in the plan, but overall, support is going to hold, and I strongly believe that. And anybody that tries to tell you different is going to be stuck either holding shorts that don't get filled, or they're going to be stuck waiting for buy orders that never get filled, which is actually even worse. Now, let's quickly dive into the Bitcoin pair because I think that we're going to actually experience just a little bit more downside here. Now, when I look at this, this also just looks like a big scale ABC correction from the top of the cycle back at December 30th. And we're just waiting to finish out that move. I think that we're going to actually end up falling to about right here. Let's get it drawn. About right here, which is going to be about, 15,000 sats, I believe, approximately. About 15,000 satoshis, I think that we're actually going to end up falling to. And the reason for this is because we're just finishing out that C leg. Now, this was wave 1. This was wave 3, and now we're working on wave 5. I still think we're going to get one more new low that's going to take us to about 15,000 sats. And then from this point, that's where the bottom is going to lie. I strongly believe that we're just going to have to fall back down and retest about the bottom of the 2017 consolidation. Back in December, we bottomed before we had that final blow off top right here. I actually believe that we're going to end up falling to retest that because when we look at this, we're still getting rejected. We're making lower lows and lower highs. I still believe that we're going to get one more low on the Bitcoin pair. And when this happens, it's going to create a good buying opportunity because I think that those lows are going to hold. I've personally been watching for this level for a little while now for the Bitcoin pair because it's merely following the last cycle fractal. And the last cycle didn't bottom until we hit the very bottom of the last consolidation. So we can see that we had a high here. We sold off. This was the bottom of that consolidation before we got our lower high right here. And then we ended up finally going all the way back down to retest it right here. And that was the lowest point that we hit. It was all the way to retest that previous low before the last bull run. And then that's where we got our last alt season, right? And the same thing's happening here. We followed the same cycle. Peak one, we fall, fully retrace, then we make peak two, and now we ended up falling all the way back down to retest the previous support before we got peak two. And that's really going to take us right here to this green line. And I think that we're going to follow the same fractal again. And then we're going to get that next major move in the next cycle. And so, there's really nothing to be super shaken out about. Really, it's just further accumulation, further waiting. Because we all know, guys, back in the last cycle, there was a ton of waiting to be done. And then out of nowhere, seamlessly overnight, we just exploded. And the same thing is going to happen in this cycle, too. There's no reason to get super shaken out by any of this. It's just further consolidation that we need before we can get that inevitable bull run. Right? And so that's the biggest thing to understand here. Now, nothing has really changed in my trading plan. Still, I'm watching for that 2017 support level that we made at about 15K Satoshis. Once we hit that, that's when I do believe support is going to hold. And then ultimately, we will get that next impulse. Now, what's interesting to me is the fact that if we look at Ethereum on the Bitcoin pair, this thing is actually looking like we're going to bounce relatively soon. And if we look at the 3-day time frame with the RSI, we can see that we're getting a lot of bullish divergence forming here. We can see that we're getting lower lows in price, but we're getting higher highs on the RSI. This is very key and indicative of a bounce for the short-term relief rally that I'm expecting. And we can see that right here we got this bullish engulfing candle, which I got to zoom in to share with you guys it a little bit better. Basically what a bullish engulfing candle is where you have like 3 or 4 different red candles going down, and then you have a big bull candle that actually engulfs all of the previous bear ones. So we can see that we actually closed above 3 different red candles, which is a key indicator of a reversal pattern. Now, not only that, we get the low here, and then we get the low here. This is an Adam and Eve bottom reversal. Now, although it's not a huge one, it is one nonetheless, and I do expect that we're going to get some short-term relief here inside of the Ethereum pair. It's going to take us back upwards to about here. I think we're just going to get a short-term dead cat bounce. It's going to take us up just a little bit of a relief rally. This is going to put us at about 0.0009 on the Ethereum XRP pair. And then from here, maybe we do hold support, or maybe we do get one more low. It doesn't really change anything for me. Regardless, I'm going to hold my XRP long term. But I think we should expect that XRP is going to outperform Ethereum in the short term. And so, this is actually a good long opportunity if you're asking me. I think that we're going to continue to impulse here. So if you ever wanted to take Ethereum and actually hedge that into XRP, I do believe that XRP is going to fall less. And so it's kind of one of those fun games where, if you have XRP, if you have Ethereum and you want to actually make a little bit of money, you could trade an Ethereum XRP pair and actually make some money on this relief bounce, because it's still going to provide a pretty decent gain here. If we look up right here, it's going to be about 37%. And so that's actually a really solid trade setup right now. I do strongly believe that we're going to get some relief here inside of the XRP Ethereum pair. Ultimately, how we hold on support, how we act at resistance is what's going to ultimately determine whether we get new lows or not. Regardless, I still strongly believe that this is a good setup, and you guys should pay attention for that. I think the ETH is actually going to drop off a lot more than XRP. Like I stated at the start, I think XRP is only headed to about 20 cents, so it doesn't really have a lot more downside left to go. The Bitcoin pair itself looks like it's got one more low. The Ethereum pair itself looks like it's already going to get relief. And so it's going to be exciting to see what happens. Regardless, I'm still very bullish on XRP. I just wanted to make sure you guys are fully in the awareness of what I expect moving forward. I want to make sure you guys are fully in the knowing so that you can actually be profitable inside of this market. Understand that I've never faltered on my bullish stance. I'm still very bullish on the long-term prospect. The only difference is that my Elliott wave count has changed a little bit, and we are going to manage to fall back to about that 20 cents before we do get some relief in the short term. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Quickly, if you guys want to sign up for the video course and the signals for the people that have waited this long to hear about it, I offer my video course and I offer my signals. The signals are the way for you guys to actually copy all of the trades that I take, follow all of my different analysis that I don't share on YouTube, follow along with all the coins that I follow, actually copy along with every single one of those trades that I take. It's super important that if you guys are in this market and you're getting chopped up, join the signals. So then you're going to be able to follow along with all of the coins and all of the positions that I buy, all of my long-term accumulation, because that's the way that I do things. I'm a long-term accumulator. I like to buy the dips. I like to average into positions, and then I just grow my account until I end up taking profits at the late 2021. And so if you guys want to get in on this, it really does pay to build that foundation early on, because when the bull run starts, it's going to just happen so quick that by building the foundation now early on inside of my Discord, you're really going to be able to make the maximum majority of those profit potential as we go up into the next cycle. So if you guys want to actually follow along with the signals, you guys can get that option, or I also offer the video course. It's 20 educational videos that are going to teach you guys all of my strategies for profiting. So if you guys want to learn technical analysis, you want to learn how to invest in these markets, and you want to do all of the skill set required to do so, make sure you check out the course for you. That's going to be the thing that helps you. If you guys can only pick one, I always recommend to go with the signals, because you can copy along with those, make some profit, and if you ever end up wanting to pursue this full time, you can take some of that profit and actually buy the course with it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate the support of each and every one of you. Once again, remember to download my free ebook if you guys would like that as well. The free ebook is going to be full of awesome information, over 38 pages of exciting information that's going to teach you guys basics into understanding TA. It's going to understand some basics to chart patterns, investing terminology, and there's also a little quiz in there packed in so you guys can actually test yourself after you've gone through and absorbed some of the information. With all that being said, you can find the link in the description of this video, and I will catch you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.